So welcome to Medbosavana Meditation Center. So first of all, I would like to know a little bit about you people. From which countries are you?
USA.
USA? All from USA, is it? Okay, right. So it's a pleasure to meet you here today, and also we welcome you to Sri Lanka as well. Generally, we carry out this session based on the questions. So if you have any queries about the human mind, it may be a problem that you are facing at the moment, which you seek some solution from spirituality, or it may be a question based on the Buddhist philosophy. You can raise such questions from us. Based on your question, we can go forward with the discussion. So I would allow the forum to start this. Don't worry, you can ask any question you want. If you know nothing about Buddhism, you can ask that also.
So this is meditation center. Can you tell us how to meditate?
Yes. Now, when we talk about meditation, there are two types of meditations. You might have heard of this, the stillness meditation and mindfulness meditation. In stillness meditation, there is a Pali term for that, samatha. And the mindfulness goes as vipassana. Right? What do we practice here is mindfulness, because there's a reason for that. Whatever we achieve in stillness meditation is temporary. The result, the outcome of that practice would last as long as you are in the practice. But mindfulness is not something like that. Whatever you get enlightened about your own mind by way of mindfulness will be eternal, right? So I will describe you, I will define you and elaborate it in the most simplest context I can. What is stillness meditation, right? First, the stillness meditation. That is the temporary measure I told you. It's like a paracetamol. If you have a headache, you just take a paracetamol, but it does not guarantee you that you won't come across a headache again. If you have a headache again, you have to take another pill of paracetamol. So stillness is like that. So in stillness meditation, now all of us have a current status of mind. At the moment, we have a status of mind. Maybe your mind is calm at the moment. Maybe someone else's mind is unsettled at the moment. It is different, right? So anyway, we have our own status in the mind at the moment. And we are not pleased with that. We are not happy with that. We assume that there is a better status in our mind that we have to achieve to feel the bliss, to feel the enlightenment, to feel the liberation. Okay? So we carry out a process to elevate our mind from the present status of mind to a different level. If you are practicing such a measure, that is stillness. You are not happy with the present status of mind. You want to achieve something else, and you're in a constant struggle by way of a spiritual practice or something. That is stillness meditation. But mindfulness meditation is not like that. In mindfulness meditation, we are in a present status of mind. We don't want to elevate it from there. We want to investigate it. And we want to accommodate that status of mind, and we want to be happy with it. We are trying to learn to be happy with it. That is mindfulness. So that is why I told you this second path is eternal, because we know it is very difficult to maintain our mind in a certain status. I will give you an example. Now we are in a room, right? Surrounded by walls, sheltered by a roof. So if somebody wants to air condition this room, it is pretty much easy. We have to close the doors and do some changes, and we can air condition it. But can you air condition the outdoor? What would be easier to air condition indoor or outside. Practically, you can't condition the air of the outside. Right? Likewise, our mind will go through different frequencies throughout the day because of external incidents. So what we have to do is, whatever the status of mind, we should learn to air condition our inside. So whatever the status of mind you are, you be happy with it. So earlier, people thought it is magical and it is mystical. The spiritual path is mystical. And then you have to levitate and you have supernatural powers. It's not something like that. We are not happy with our mind because we do not know what is happening inside. But once you get to know, once you understand the mechanism of the mind, you can be pleased with it. That is enlightenment. Enlightenment is getting enlightened about the mechanism of your own mind. So that is the best meditation one can do. For that, you don't have to be in a specific posture, and you don't have to limit a time. You don't have to designate a location. You can do it 24/7 throughout your day. Just be an observer of your mind. Do you understand? More questions?
Are you enlightened and happy?
Me? Yes. I have understood the secrets behind my mind. I have understood the mechanism of my mind. Therefore, the happiness that you call is a bit of a different happiness, a person who has understood the mind. It's like your mind is not in a specific place. You're not trying to control your mind and to confine it. You let it occur naturally. You're with the free flow of the mind. So then there is no necessity to get pressurized in the mind. That is what happens when you get to know the mechanism of it.
Do you consider going back?
Going back in the sense?
Your previous life?
I have no such expectation as far, because my ambition is at the moment to explain, because I know that I'm good at bit good at explaining what I have achieved. So therefore, the purpose I have taken as a course in my life to spread this message, how to do it, and help others to achieve the same.
But to do that, you have to abandon your family, your children, your business, and it's a big burden to leave everything behind.
Not necessarily. There is no necessity to leave anything behind. There is no necessity at all to leave anything behind, because as I told you, this practice, what you do is you just be an observer. So you can do it under any circumstance. But there is a necessity of being in the spiritual dialogue, because the enlightenment happens in two ways. First, you seek some advice from somebody about spirituality. Then he would say that your mind has a certain secrets. He will reveal certain secrets which you do not know in the first place. Right? Then when you go back to your ordinary life, you come across a situation where the secret is revealed to you. That is that you experience the knowledge that you gathered before. Right? So being in the dialogue help you to understand it, the experience by way of a knowledge in advance. And also there are things that you do not have the knowledge, but you experience, but you can't understand what is happening. Then if you are back in the dialogue, like you're doing right here, you can raise questions and get answers for that. That is why we always say the entire spiritual path is a discussion. It's a two-way process. You help me, I help you out. Yes.
Nothing to do with philosophy, nothing to do with religion. Why don't you sit down on the floor with us?
Yes, I surely can. But there is a culture in Sri Lanka, which, Sri Lanka is a bit of a conservative country. And there's a culture and a practice which has been followed where the speaker generally sits on an elevated chair. But it doesn't make me more superior than you. I have to admit it. I'm not less than or I'm not higher than you. I can guarantee that.
That's something to consider.
Sorry.
That is something that you should consider.
Yes, yes. That is why I won't, because sometimes you may feel that since I'm on an elevated chair, I'm superior than you. But I'm telling you, I'm not.
Then you should sit down here.
Not necessarily. I can be humble and sit on a chair like this. Yes. Because the superiority does not come from what we wear, what we sit on. If we can accept each other and be leveled with everyone, then we are all superior. But if I cannot level with the environment, with the culture, with the what other people expect in a certain society, if I cannot level with them, then I will not be a superior. Do you have to? That is the explanation.
What you are telling us, is it consistent with the mainstream practices of Buddhism in Sri Lanka?
What we prescribe? Well, I may say now, if you go to some other place, it's highly unlikely that you will get this method, because everyone is in a dilemma and a misunderstanding about what samatha and vipassana means, what stillness and mindfulness means. Everyone, in the name of mindfulness, they try to elevate their mind. They don't want to be peaceful with whatever the circumstance that they are in right now. They try to, elevate their mind and try to achieve something superior which they anticipate, which they assume from their mind. But they label it as vipassana, as mindfulness, but it is not. But now what I say, you can find it in certain discourses of Gautam Buddha himself. There's a discourse called Satipatthana Sutra. If you go by that, what he says is just to observe. He never prescribed anyone to change it. Pajanati, that is the word he says, that is the observation. Whatever the status of mind, whatever the emotion that you're in at the moment, it may be anger, it may be happiness, it may be love, it may be lust, whatever it is, just observe. It is not that, it's something like this. Your mind is always in a constant travel in a horizontal way. Then the Buddha prescribes go vertically in each and every moment. In each and every moment, just do not travel horizontally. Travel vertically and see what happens. Go to the depth of anger. Go to the depth of lust. Go to the depth of envy. Go to the depth of love and investigate it. What happens to you with it? Because if you are not fully enlightened about each and every emotion of yours, you cannot be peaceful with it. So I don't think this method go in line with the majority, but it go in line with the spirituality. That is enough.
If you discover something that you are not happy about, then what to do about it?
That is the best opportunity. That is a blessing for me. Because I know that is the moment I have to experiment. If I am not happy, I would never run from that. I would travel vertically with that in that unhappiness.
What I'm trying to say, like, you accept. And sometimes it's overwhelming.
Overwhelming?
Overwhelming too much.
The trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if it is that hard, if you do not have the potential in such a moment, then there is something we can spiritually apply there. Can you describe me the experience that you are troubled with? What sort of
When you're dealing with the loss
dealing with?
of someone new, which is very important to you.
So I will tell you the reason behind, because in spirituality, what you will identify is the cause for the trouble, right? Anybody will be dissatisfied on something or will be unhappy on something based on this reason only. He or she has an expectation, and the result is not according to her expectation. That is the reason a person to be unhappy. But if the result is according to the expectation, you will be overwhelmingly happy. So now what is the cause for the unhappiness? Your attachment to your expectations. It is okay to have a simple plan about how should my life go. But the result is beyond our control. Our expectation may be within our fully control, because the expectation is created by our mind. So we can dream in any way that we want. But the result is not totally in our hand. So if we are too much attached to the dream that we have created by the mind, then a different result will upset you. So then you have to identify what is the reason. The too much attachment towards my plan, towards my expectation. So now if you know the reason, should I give you a paracetamol or can you alleviate it?
Sometimes personal helps too.
The only help a guide can give you in spirituality is explaining what is happening in you. So next time if you are in a trouble, just recall this, remember this and see, now my mind is upset because of this incident. What was the expectation in me? And then for the moment, give up that expectation. For the moment, give up that expectation. Then you will feel free. Now, as an example, I will tell you, now, you guys didn't like us recording this session, right? That was your expectation. Then when you see the cameras, you will get upset. That is natural. It's okay to tell me to remove the camera. I don't mind doing that. You have to be active. But what is the point of getting upset? What is the point of getting unsettled by just seeing a camera? Without being unsettled, without being troubled, you can simply tell me, can you please remove the camera? The reason for the unsettledness in the mind is the expectation you had. And the strong attachment you had towards that. If you did not have that strong attachment towards the expectation, these electronic devices might not trouble you. You can simply just approach me and say, can you please remove the camera? That's it. When you're back in your hotel, you can do the same. The waiter, the manager will make you upset. Only they can make you upset if you had an expectation about the hotel. So I would say, for the moment, give up the expectation and express yourself. It's very easy to live. Just give up the expectation and express. I don't want to make you a vegetable. I don't want to make you silent. Expression can be done, but there's no reason to be unsettled inside. So this is purely an art of living which is so blissful. That is what spirituality gives you. Spirituality gives you.
I have one more question. Destiny, is it something that is that human beings need to expect, or can we determine our path forward?
Can we determine our destiny? What do you think? What was your experience? Because surely you're more experienced than me in life. What is your experience?
I feel that I'm in control.
Well, talking about destiny, as I told you, all the effects that we come across in our life have a cause. It's a cause and effect thing. You will simply flow with the effects as long as you do not identify the causes of your life. Then you will be stuck in your destiny. Someone else, something else, I don't know, someone or something, will determine your effect. The things in your life, the process of your life. But once you get to know about the cause of each and every effect, you can change the causes and direct your life towards the effect. It's like this because we are blessed and we are given the most sophisticated machine. As human beings, we have given this most sophisticated machine, the human mind, right? Once you use a cutting-edge sophisticated machine, the first thing that you would read is the manual. What will happen if you start using the machine without reading the manual? A disaster. That is what has happened to our lives. The manual shows the causes for every effect. The spirituality is the way to find the manual. Mindfulness is the way to find the manual and how to read it. So it is no magic there.
Do you ever get upset?
Me. Not unsettled. I get anger. I express it.
If you walk on the street and you are hit by a tuk-tuk, do you curse the driver or do you bless the driver?
If I want, I will curse. If I don't want, I will not. Because in my life, I know I do not have pre-plans how to act in each and every situations. Because if I have an plan in my life on how to act on each and every situation, that is another expectation. I always prefer being spontaneous. But I never lose the clarity in my mind. So what happens when you are so mindful about things, when you increase the level of mindfulness in you, your mind is crystally clear to you. What happens with each and every question that you ask, it is totally clear inside. There's total clarity inside me. So whether I have to fight or flight, I can determine with a lot of clarity. That's all. My action can be fight. My action may be flight. It doesn't matter. What I worry about the clarity of my mind. Whether I'm doing it consciously or unconsciously. With awareness or without awareness.
So you want to be in control all the time?
Not in control. Just to be aware. Then you can take the good decision.
One more question.
A lot of questions.
And then
Please. I welcome a lot of questions.
As we drive through the country, I mean, the country is blessed with vegetation.
Greenery.
Coconut trees, jackfruit trees, breadfruit trees. And I read an article that there's like quite a bit of hunger, malnutrition, and something like 70% of the children go to bed hungry. I would like to hear what your opinion and what your thoughts are. What is the disconnect?
Well, in the first place, are you a Sri Lankan? Yeah. Born Sri Lanka? Yes. Sri Lanka is a blessed country with all the natural things, but we are cursed by politicians. Right? So whatever the situation here in Sri Lanka is because the incorrect political decisions of the country. But can we just blame it on the politicians? Because we had a chance by way of franchise to elect our people, but we were not wise enough to elect the proper people. What is the reason for that? I blame the spiritual masters of this country. We were unsuccessful in creating clarity in the human mind of the general public in Sri Lanka to take the best decision at the moment they are casting their vote. We were unsuccessful. So I take the blame. and I don't want to continue it. That is why I'm doing this. My objective is not make them too much attached to Buddhism or too much attached to any other spiritual path. I want to help them to maintain a balanced mind, for them to take the decision, not me. Whether you follow this or whether you not follow it, for them to take the decision. So I was unsuccessful in doing that. So on behalf of all the spiritual leaders of this country, I take the blame.
Happening, this manual for this amazing creature is wrong. Why we constantly making wrong decisions, choosing the loudest, the strongest, without thinking that this is the most important part of the body?
Taking the loudest reaction, taking any reaction that you call it wrong, is up to us. Do not label it or write it or wrong. That was just a reaction for that incident. It was you who labeled it as wrong because you are not happy with that decision.
Is anyone happy with that in your country?
About?
Without this decision about?
Well, if it is the perspective, even in a disaster, you can be happy if you look at it in the correct angle. I take this as a blessing because we are now learning the basic lessons of politics. We are now learning the basic lessons of economy and social sciences. This is a good opportunity as a nation for us to come up, rise up again. This is the best opportunity.
I wish you the best, because history is showing that the only what we learned from the past.
Yes, obviously, you're aware about what happened after the Second World War in Europe, right? They underwent a severe economic crisis like us, maybe more than this, right? Luckily, we have a lot of vegetation here. We may be malnourished because the protein intake is less, but we have a lot of carbs, right? If you walk across these, you will find jackfruit, you will find coconut trees. Nobody is hungry in this country. We are being taught by the religion, by our culture, to feed the hunger, to give things, to always devote yourself to others. It's like this. Here, when a natural disaster happens, sometimes the government is totally a deadlock. The people come forward. When the tsunami was struck in 2003, for the first 3 days, it was the people, by their own motive, helped each other, fed everyone. Nobody died from hunger. Then after 3 days only, the government took in charge of all the disaster management. Why is that? That is the best thing of our culture. It is not always bad. The culture is different from your culture to us. The colors, those things will be different, but there are good things, right? So you have to look at the problem in a different angle to see the opportunities of it. Now we are in economic crisis. Is there a point to be troubled with it? Oh God, now we are done, now we are dead. There's no point. Search for the opportunities out of it. If you're being cursed, if you're being defamed by somebody, there's no point of being, oh my God, my life is a disaster. Now I was totally defamed. Take the opportunity out of it. Now I will tell you, as a conservative country, Sri Lanka, nudity is a total mess in one's life. If a video of yours, a nude video of yours, if it was like accidentally published on YouTube or Facebook, that is a disaster for a Sri Lankan girl. Once such an instance happened to a girl in some area called Kurunegala. So then she called us, said, now my life is done. I want to commit suicide. Everyone has seen this video, which I am totally naked. Now, how can we see the best part out of it? Can you perceive something good of it? So my advice was, everyone has seen you naked now. Now you don't have to pay for your clothes. You can just simply walk naked on the street. They have seen it before. That is the way that you're looking at to a problem. If you look at from the best angle, every curse, we can take it as a blessing. Any disaster of yours. I will tell you a Zen story, right? You know Zen in Japan? So there was a small village where there was a family, the son, father, and the mother. They had a black horse. So they rented it to pull logs and everything, and they used it economically. So that was the only income. So one day, what happened was, this black horse escaped. It ran away. So they totally lost the income. Then the mother was complaining, oh my God, how are we going to make some living? Then the son was complaining, I don't have my BMW now. I can't go anywhere and see girls. But the father, it's okay. That was the father's response. Sometimes after, that black horse came back to the house along with a white female horse. It has gone out to find an affair. Now they have 2 horses. Then the people are saying, oh, you're so lucky, now you have 2 horses. Then the mother is overwhelmed. Oh yeah, now we are so rich. We have doubled the income. Then the son says, the white horse is the best ride. I get more girls when I ride it. Then when my father was inquired, it's okay. Sometimes after, this white horse is not quite tamed. The son was using it very frequently. It is not tamed. So, he fell from the horse and broke his leg. Now he is with 1 leg. Just the right leg has to be amputated. So everyone in the village is saying, oh, this white horse is a curse to you. To the mother, your son is now, he's disabled. The mother was saying, yes, only son. What can I do with him? Now he can't find a good girl. His life will be a mess. And son was complaining, oh my God, I was so happy before this white horse ruined my life. Then they approached the father. It's okay, that's nature. Then sometimes after, the Japan waged a war with China. The emperor ordered all the boys in the house should join the army if you are not disabled. Every boy in that village had to go to the army, and it was a disaster. The Chinese army was so powerful. Everyone came in corpses. But this son is surviving because he was left behind because of his disability. People came. You're so lucky. My son came in a coffin, but your son is still alive. Can you see? That is life. Either you can keep complaining about it, or you can accept it. That is a nice Zen story which we can apply to our own life. Good for Sri Lankans at the moment. Without cursing what is happening, try to see the opportunities out of it.
Do you think different religion can peacefully coexist?
The religions can, but the followers can't. You get me? The religions can. Why the followers can't? Nobody can coexist peacefully if they are too much attached to their ideologies. Now you're traveling in a group. You have different ideologies. If you are too much attached to your ideology, you cannot coexist with the one next to you. It is not the matter between religions. Even within a group like this, you cannot coexist if you are so arrogant and so adamant about your ideologies, and if you want to keep it as I want.
But as a leader of religions, can they teach their follower to be more tolerant?
I believe almost all the religions is prescribing that. But the problem is they are not doing it.
Right.
The followers are not doing it. And maybe some teachers are too much attached to their ideologies. Now, I am not attached to even what I teach here. Even to the spiritual path that I am prescribing you, I am not attached to it. That is why I welcome always questions. You know, the spiritual masters, they do not generally welcome questions. They are worried about not being able to answer. But I'm not worrying at all about not being able to answer. Because this is just another ideology. If you get attached to it, you will be in trouble. What makes trouble in our life is attachment.
Can you describe yourself as a free person because you're not attached to anything?
I'm not even attached to the freedom. Because next day if somebody confines me, if I'm attached to the freedom, I will be upset.
Can you give details of your past life and how you come to this new life?
Yeah, a little bit. Yes, I was a lawyer before. I was in the commercial practice, practicing in Colombo. Then life went really well for me. But then I was searching for a very long time. I was searching something. It is from my younger days. I was searching for the truth, the reality of life. What is the purpose of life? I had that constant search throughout my life. And I didn't know to do it, but I tried different things, mindfulness, and it was a gradual process. It is not that whatever the status that I am living in at the moment, it is not an overnight thing. It happened through 2 decades. Minimum 2 decades.
Did you have a family? Do you have children?
No, I don't have children. I was not married, but I have a family.
So your decision was a little easier than somebody who has a family, kids?
Yes, probably. But here we have some monks who had kids. Sometimes I feel that actually it was a blessing for me that I did not have a family. But if you have the potential, it doesn't make any difference.
Because life is always a struggle. You strive for things that you don't have, and it's very difficult to achieve the state of mind that you have.
What I look at is, I never think that I don't have anything in my life. At the moment, for the moment, I have everything what I need. I have a place to stay. I'm sitting on a better chair than yours, quite elevated. And I have a roof, and I have some water, and I have a good gathering to talk with. At the moment, you live by the moment. For the moment, do I have everything I want? I have it. But if I am to think about the future, in the next moment, what will happen? Then the problem comes. Because the future, you don't know where will you be and what are the circumstances around you. You create your future with the facts, with the data that you have in the present moment. But you will never know that you will come across the same data in the future to be successful in your expectation. That is the problem. So never dream about future with the present data. You live by the moment. You know, that is the reason that your dreams do not essentially come true. You dream with the present data in your life. In the present data, you have your mother, you have your father, you have your brother, you have your loved ones. But in 1 year after, and you're expecting after 1 year, I will be happily wedded and happily developed with all these people. 1 year after, if all the rest of the family is dead, you're lost. Because you're dreaming from the existing facts. Those are not the real facts which are going to be in future. So that is why I always live in the present moment, with the present facts. Whatever I have at the moment, I am happy with it.
You're afraid of death, and what happened to you after death?
I have to check it at the time of death. because I'm not yet dead. At the moment, now if somebody knows how to be happy in the present moment, a death will be another moment for him. But I don't think such a person will be shivered or devastated in front of death. If you can learn how to be peaceful with the present moment, when it comes to your biological death, that is also another moment only. So that is the best part of spiritual development. You going to be in the present moment. That will help you to overcome your death. There's no other way to overcome the death. There's no other way.
No, because Christians believe in heaven, like they die, they know there's a place for them. If you're a good Christian, you go to heaven.
Yeah, but the time of death, the agony, the pain, the heaven is after. Yes, please.
Yeah. But your philosophy is very good, but can you compete with other more aggressive religion thought in this real world? Because the world has so many, problem, and then unfairness, and then only looking for peaceful of mind, and then also, have a poverty, and then the unfairness of property sharing, and then how you can convince the follower and then get a better life rather than other religion or, non-religion people aggressively are looking for the physical treasure or physical property.
I get the point. My question to you is, why should I compete with them?
It's not, well, for the regular people, it's not that if you not compete, you even be behind.
Now you have to understand this. Now this is a very subtle process. This is not like you enroll 100 or 200 students to a faculty and let them follow a course. It is not like that. Spirituality will not work like that. It is not what I can give, it is what you have to do. So in spirituality, what we can do as a person to encourage others to be more spiritual. My teachings won't do much, but my attitudes, when people live with me, how they feel me, how they feel my energy, how they feel my vibrance, that will change them. That is how we can transfer spirituality to somebody else, not by these words. It is like a pandemic, a spiritual pandemic. It should go by the touch, by the vision, by observing me. So it won't be competitive. It will be a very gradual process. But that is eternal, though. Because you need only one spiritual person to make a lot per people spiritual. So if your ambition is good, to change the world, to change the world happy and blissful, ambition is good. But do not cling on to that ambition and expect the world to be better. The world will always be with that division, the good and bad. You will never see the 100% good world. Because the good itself exists as long as the bad is there. Because in spirituality, the term emptiness, if you have heard, in the emptiness, the both duality we have to embrace. Now, as I said, I never said my emotions should be always love and loving kindness and patience, compassion. No. The anger also should exist in me. Those are natural emotions. So anger, it is us who are claiming it as bad. Right? So this enlightenment is not a you're not categorizing your emotions or the people as good and bad, and you are not trying to eliminate bad. You're embracing the good and bad. You learn to embrace the good and bad. Do you understand? This is different. I'm not trying to make the entire world good. I just want to embrace everything. That is how I can be universal. If I am casting out a Christian out of me, the Muslims or the bad people or the good people, whatever, if I label people and cast them out, I cannot be universal. Yes.
Crime and punishment. As human beings, do we have the right to punish somebody if we know somebody did something bad?
If he is under your control and if your control is necessary for his betterment. You have to. Maybe. If you are doing it in good faith, in order to make good out of him, you can do it. But not in bad faith. Huh?
Maybe a follow-up question. If somebody tries to kill me in defense or in offense, if I kill that person, is that that's a paradox to me.
That's a paradox. I won't prescribe killing a person, but taming a person is a different thing. But let's say, that's why I never pre-plan my life. I may come across such a situation. The only avenue for me to escape may be the defense that you are saying. You never know. Let the time decide that.
You were talking about good and bad kind of intermingle. Do you believe that there is absolute evil?
Absent?
Absolute evil.
Absolute evil. If there is absolute good, as long as the absolute good is there, absolute evil will be there. It is the two sides of the same coin. The world runs in duality. If there's only male on this planet, we don't have to label them as male. Males are labeled as males because females are there. So similarly, good is labeled as good as long as the bad is there. The existence of bad is a must for the existence of good. That is why heaven and hell coexist. You cannot only have a heaven and eliminate the hell. Beings enlightened is not going to heaven or hell. You embrace everything. It's like you are the Almighty. The Almighty has everything within. The heaven and hell both. Hell was not created by somebody else. The believers and non-believers both were created by the same source. Always there is a duality. When you embrace everything, you become universal, you become God. That is why I told you, stillness meditation cannot make you enlightened, but the mindfulness can. In mindfulness, you accept the duality. I never told you to be unhappy or dissatisfied with your current status of mind. It may be the worst moment in your life, but try to be satisfied with that. Then you are the God. If you try to elevate or go somewhere else, that means you are trying to cast out something. You are not universal. You are only part and parcel for something. That process you have to continuously do every time. But once you become universal, whatever happens, even a lightning strikes, even an earthquake, even a tsunami or a shower of money, when you win a lottery, whatever happens in your life, you are universal. I never cast people out calling them they are bad people. You are so arrogant, or you do not follow me, or you do not bow me down. I welcome everyone, even the people who do not bow me or respect me or disrespect me. So do we have more questions? In the last row, no one has questions.
Is there do you believe that there's a supreme creator?
Me, I am the creator. My mind creates everything. You're the creator. Your mind is creating everything under you. You think about your home from there, you can create as much as you want.
It's more.
It is the label that different religions have given. The Almighty or Allah or the Nirvana or the Moksha in Hinduism. They call about the same creator. That is our pristine mind, where everything started. Spirituality will take you back there, where there are no frames in mind, where you can accept everything and you become universal and you can create everything. Even you can create a disaster in your life. You know, Krishna is an enlightened person. He waged a war against an entire nation. It is all about the mind. That is why even in any scripts that they say the Almighty or Allah is formless. And the Buddhism says Nirvana is formless. No sun, no moon, no earth, no water. Everything in negative form. It is formless. You cannot create a statue for that. It is beyond statue. Now I will give you a simple exercise. Now you perceive this world through your 5 senses and plus the 6th sense, your mind, right? I will simply do an operation to you. Now you see everything through your eyes. I will make you blind for a moment. You're blind now. But still you can hear me, my irritating voice. I will make you deaf. Now you can't hear, you can't see. But still you can taste, you can touch the world and you can smell it. So gradually I will take off your sensory organs, the smell and the tongue and also the body sensation. Now you can't hear, you can't see, you can't smell, you can't taste, you can't feel, you're numb now. But still the world exists. Your mind is chattering inside. Aren't you? Still the world exists. Only through the 6th sense. The mind is talking. Now I'm going to perform the last surgery. I will switch off that mind. What will happen? What is there now?
Can exist.
That is the God I'm talking about. That was the point everything started. That is the moment of creation. If you are mindful, if you keep on observing your mind, you will go back to that original status of the Big Bang. Do you have more questions?
Thank you.
So then I think this is enough for the day, don't we? So we have, as I said, we have a YouTube channel where we elaborate more about the human mind in different avenues. This is all about knowing your mind. Huh? There's no mystic, there's no magic here. So if you have a free time, you can go back and watch it at home, like half an hour per month or 1 hour, 1 session per month. Then you will get more enlightened about different aspect of life, right? So you don't have to change anything, any routine of yours. And it is simply learning about you. You're not learning anything new. I'm not teaching anything new. And there is a series of sessions where I translate for the chief. He's not here at the moment. But you can watch it and enlighten yourself and feel the bliss after that. Once you get to know the mechanism of your mind, you know the art of living. You don't need me thereafter. So thank you very much, and I bless you all to have a blissful vacation for a couple of days, I think, and go safely back to your home.